a transport chopper. My guy's hit!
Only in Battlefield. Hello, Sim here. Keep an eye on that beam of light. I'll come back to it later. Gameplay you're watching is from Battlefield Hardline, and in this video I'm going to cover this new upcoming release, explore the past and share my thoughts on the future of Battlefield. This video contains footage from multiple consoles. Graphics will pop up to tell you which console footage you're watching. So we start off with the game mode Heist. Robbers have got to nick the loot from the armoured vans, go through a series of checkpoints to get to the final getaway destination. It's a new twist on Rush, and the waypoints act as the traditional A and B bomb sites. So you've got new vehicles, nothing fancy, definitely no tanks, but you still have armoured vehicles and of course helicopters. But you don't need a helo to get to a roof, you can use a zip line from a nearby building. The new beam of white light that you can see on the screen right now indicates an objective, which can be initially confusing when you're inside a building because you see it shooting through the floor and it means that the objective is beneath you. So, playing as cops in this particular video footage, so all we got to do is stop the robbers getting to the helipad with that red duffel bag. That's it. And we pile a hail of bullets in, but unfortunately they get through. And we lose this particular game. See, he just walks through all of those bullets. Damn. So we now switch over to another game mode available in the beta, Blood Money. And this is definitely the best game mode so far, as it's a lot more fun and there tends to be a lot more action. There's a pile of cash in the centre of the map, and there tends to be a lot of fighting over it. It really is cops versus robbers. So it's your job to collect the cash and get it back to your team's armoured van. The team to fill up their van to the max cash limit first wins. So to collect the cash you simply hold down the reload button when you're next to the pile of cash, and the question comes, do you hold it down, that square or X button, just enough to collect the 100k, or do you keep holding it down, leaving yourself more exposed to get the maximum amount of cash of 500k that you can carry? Strategy will come into play. There's also a piece of auto revive kit that you can equip yourself, and this comes in real handy, which we'll see very shortly. So once you've got the maximum amount of cash, you need to make a run for it and just make sure you get safely back to your van. Once you deposit your cash, you may get offered a squad perk to choose. So it's a change from the automatic squad perk allocation and gives the choice to the team or individual and brings another element of the tactical play into the game. So when you kill an enemy who's carrying cash, indicated by the red duffel bag with notes flying in the air, you can collect that cash by looking for green fluorescent rectangular blobs on the ground by just running over it. So enemies will try to pinch cash from your team's van, and vice versa, you can go and pinch cash from theirs. So it's a good idea to make sure somebody protects it. Now this game mode to me is another twist on Conquest with a bit of capture the flag thrown in. The pile of cash in the middle is B, your van's A and C, and the cash is effectively the flag. For me, it's definitely the best game mode so far. It's going to make things interesting to see what other game modes they bring to the table, because they're going to need to bring some interesting modes into the mix to get gamers to buy this game. You may be wondering why I'm saying that, and that's simply because most Battlefielders consider this a Battlefield 4 game with a mod applied. Identical graphics and nothing spectacular that's changed. So, Battlefield 4. Why has there been hardly any of this featuring on my channel? Those of you that have been with me for some time will know that normally about 40% of my content will be Battlefield, but not this year. Is it because Sim has become addicted to COD? No, not really, although there will be some element there. As all Battlefielders know, this game has dedicated servers, unlike COD, and thus multiplayer is generally pretty good. But when it comes to Battlefield 4, they seriously broke that side of the game, commonly known as netcode. And that is the main reason I stopped playing it, and to me it felt worse to play than COD because I have a high-speed internet connection. Now, if I take the cynical view, Battlefield Hardline is coming out, which uses the same Frostbite 2 engine. And they said, we better fix this. hence the Community Test Environment CTE for the PC. Now, some of those netcode fixes with the reduced lag via network smoothing and higher network frequency updates are available, but you have to switch them on, they're not enabled by default. Now the Hardline beta seems to be missing the frequency update option, but I suspect it will be available in the full game. Of course, initially in Battlefield 4 you could not easily game with mates, and there is an option now that has been available for a couple of months but involves creating a squad that your mates have to search for in-game. You cannot invite them directly in-game, it's just mad. They've gone backwards in that respect compared to Battlefield 3. So I've captured the gameplay for the Battlefield 4 within the same hour for both Xbox One and the PS4 to allow for a control test. In other words, no real difference in peak times when it comes to ISPs and internet performance. So prior to the new netcode fix, my experience of Battlefield 4 was always better on the PS4. It just seemed more laggy on the Xbox One. Has that experience changed since the new fix? Nope. It has got better, but it's still got work to go. Graphically, you cannot really tell the difference between the two consoles. There's no massive jump in graphics. You're going to have to be really looking at minute detail. So, both consoles are effectively PCs with similar CPUs and graphic processor chips. The only real difference comes down to the operating system, but I don't think that is the reason why the PS4 plays best. I'm not going to go all fanboy on you for one console, but I think the reason it plays best on the PS4 from my experience is simply because there is a larger player base on the PlayStation compared to the Xbox One, and thus the poor netcode is more easily exposed on the Xbox One. So what about the future of Battlefield? Well, for one, they better fix that Frostbite 2 engine or they could potentially kill the game series. DICE are not going to allow that to happen, but it does appear they've taken a leaf out of Activision's book. A new Battlefield game each year compared to the usual new game every 2 years. The one game I'm hoping for next year is Bad Company 3. It was the first Battlefield series I played and I absolutely loved it. I got introduced to Battlefield Bad Company and subsequently Bad Company 2, which I played to death and unlocked all the trophies, platinumed it and maxed out my soldier. And of course I bought a DLC for it. But Battlefield 4 and DLC, did I buy any of it? Nope. Will I? It depends if they fix this game. So I know some of you are knife fans, so enjoy the upcoming clip. So let's continue with the knife theme. Now this is Battlefield 3 footage that you're watching right now, and it's freshly gotten gameplay. The majority of the Battlefield community would have naturally switched to Battlefield 4 unless you think Battlefield 3 would be horrible to play. Absolutely not, it's fantastic, it's an absolute dream to play, and it plays miles better than Battlefield 4 when it comes to netcode. It's so much more enjoyable, and that's why I bought the premium DLC for this game. If you've only played Battlefield 4 and you just don't know what you've missed. And all of this footage comes from one game, and that's how much fun I was having. There is some fresh Bad Company 2 footage coming up shortly for a little walk down memory lane, just to show you where this game has come from. I know my video release schedule has been a bit erratic lately, and for those of you still watching, you can probably appreciate why this video has taken so long to come out. A like is always appreciated. If you follow me on Twitter, I give heads up on video releases. So when the Bad Company series came out, it was like, wow, nice graphics. The hit detection wasn't terrible, and it wasn't fantastic either. It meant you needed more gun skill rather than a 1 or 2 bullet kill, which made it fun. I never felt cheated by the netcode, so when BF3 came out and the graphics were like wow, and the netcode was great, this series was taking a positive step forwards and gaining momentum. Battlefield 4 then arrived when we all saw the graphics, the destruction, Levolution, and we thought, wow. But the netcode took it a major step backwards. Battlefield at heart has always been developed first and played by first by the PC community, hence the new improvement program known as CTE, where patches eventually make it to consoles. The reason consoles don't get frequent updates unlike the PC community is that Microsoft and Sony will charge DICE money to do so, thus it remains on the PC. It is a shame it's taken a long time for this program to come to fruition, but it is a welcome one, and hopefully us Battlefielders will benefit. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm definitely interested to know what you guys think. As always, if you found the video informative, please leave a like, and to stay in touch with my latest vids, go and subscribe. So enjoy the final kill sequence, and until next time, this has been Sim.
Перезаряжаюсь, прикройте!